Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speedrun Insider. My name is CJitsallGewd. Thank you so much for joining me this week, as you do every week. If you're new to the show, we appreciate your support. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, download, do all the things that you do. I would never ask you to do anything else. To help keep the podcast free and clear, so we're not slaves to any algorithm or any higher power. We can keep the titles numbered, and we don't have to make everything clickbaity. We really appreciate it. I have another great guest for you today. The NBA Jam style intros are still gone. After further feedback, I've been told that you guys prefer the subtler the intros. Y'all are humble people. I should have made a note of that. But I digress. You know, I don't want to get off to introducing my guest too fast. Before you know it, the podcast will be come and gone like a sonic boom. My guest today reminds me of a certain avian variety. And my guest today is t0uchan. How are you doing, t0uchan?
Hi, CJ. How are you?
I'm doing well. The people told me that they didn't like the razzle-dazzle from downtown. So I'm honoring their wish. But how can I, resist the temptation of the delicious wordplay at every turn? I just can't. It's sometimes it's just because you can doesn't mean you should, but it does mean I will.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you're on fire, you're on fire,
Right.
So,
boom shakalaka.
Yeah, from downtown. I'm plumbing the depths of my NBA Jam knowledge, which is extensive.
Did you have a go-to team in NBA Jam?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Because I grew up in Dallas, but the Mavericks weren't really established then. It was pre-Dirk, so
right.
The only basketball players I knew were Michael Jordan and Shaq, and Shaq was new at the time. Dating myself here a little bit, and he was on the Orlando Magic, but I don't think Shaq was in the game, so they just had two other guys in the Magic.
Yeah, I don't think Shaq made the cut on NBA Jam.
Yeah, so I just played the Magic, and that's that's my usual.
I was a huge Chicago Bulls fan, and my brother was a big Bulls fan. He was also a Raiders fan. He's kind of a front runner guy, but my brother is 18 years older than I am.
Okay.
So I inherited he was a Bulls fan from the 80s. 84, 85, 86, 87. So he had a bunch of Michael Jordan stuff.
I'd imagine.
But it wasn't Michael Jordan, it was Michael Jordan playing the Pistons instead of Michael Jordan playing the Jazz. And so whenever I played NBA Jam, I picked the Bulls. Jordan wasn't in the game,
right.
But
I think Scottie Pippen was.
Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Or Horace Grant. I think it was Horace Grant.
Horace Grant? Oh, yeah, it was Grant. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I was and every time, because Scottie is great, right? Scottie hit the three, get down low. Horace sucks. I love you, Horace Grant, if you're listening. I know you're not. I know you are. Horace Grant, the only thing cool about Horace Grant was the goggles, and he didn't even have the goggles in that game.
Oh,
He just got obliterated.
Yeah, he couldn't do just too much for the developers. No. you're not Michael Jordan. We can't give you goggles.
I think they put Bill Clinton in a later version of the game.
They did because we used to unlock I think was Hillary Clinton in it too.
I don't remember.
All I remember is we always played Air Dog. I don't know why. I don't know who Air Dog is, but I always remembered that code for some reason.
I always preferred Road Dogg, Jesse James.
Was it? Wait.
Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know D-Generation X was in NBA Jam.
Who's your favorite? We're just going out. We're just going out with this now. I love the New Age Outlaws. Favorite tag team.
Was it Billy Gunn?
Yeah.
No, I'm a wrestling fan from way back too. This is probably no surprise. I do have a wrestling channel on my Discord, where we'll watch AEW and talk and stuff. But I remember when I got really into like Attitude Era, back in I think the first wrestler I ever saw on TV, like after like the sort of the golden age, was like Gold Dust, and I was like, who is this guy? He looks nothing like like Macho Man or one of those guys. He's one of my all-time favorites, but yeah, just and just being blown away by this whole, like, I can't believe this is like a thing that's huge and popular, and there's some like dude covered in gold face paint and just bouncing around the ring right now. But yeah, it had that sort of over the top quality to it. I just love it. I don't know. I still follow it a lot. I'm not an expert, but I love wrestling.
I love the old stuff. Like, I go back, I'll watch like stuff from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then whatever I grew up watching, which was like I guess they call it ruthless aggression. I don't know. They have different names for this shit now. When I was watching, it was like John Cena and Batista. Kurt, it was like the end of Kurt Angle. TNA was popular, and they had all the old boys. It's like, all right, well, if you get bored of watching like CM Punk versus whatever John Cena, you can change the channel and watch Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair in 2010.
In 2010.
Yeah, it's like the blind fighting the deaf.
It's the options are just wide open there. Like, how can it get better than this? Two wrestlers in their prime.
Yeah, right? It's like they're both getting AARP.
Yeah, no, if I'm watching wrestling content, it's usually 90s stuff because nostalgia, but like there's a lot of great like 80s stuff too. I don't know.
I mean, the matches were just better. I mean, I think like you had real workers back then. You had an attitude era. They say about it. They talk about it all the time. I think they just had the Steve Austin documentary on A&E recently. I like kind of more of like the behind the scenes stuff now, like the podcasts and the docs, more than actually watching. I'm not a big AEW fan because I don't know.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's like, okay, like this guy's a dinosaur. All right, let's go with it. I kind of appreciate that though.
There's some guys there that are really good that I'm like, man, if they weren't with the rest of these dudes, they'd actually be like stars.
Yeah,
like Jungle Boy is really cool.
Yeah, it feels kind of like WCW back in the day. Like there were some,
they're gonna trot out David Arquette, cash in on that Friends reunion popularity.
Yeah, like I can't think of a bigger overlap Friends fans and Monday Night Wrestling fans. So. But no, did you ever play wrestling games though? Like
I did. I played like the one on the NES, which was super scuffed.
Yeah, I had the WrestleMania one on NES.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
People don't understand. I exist in this cross-generational bubble because the first games I played were NES games, and my friends were like, oh, my first game was like Super Mario Sunshine. I'm like, you spoiled brat.
Super Mario Sunshine when you said that.
You guys didn't even have to deal with like shit 3D. You guys like started with the good 3D.
Yeah. No. Okay. So
3D with 2 sticks. That's a luxury.
You had 2 sticks. I have 1 stick. I grew up in with NES too. We had an NES before we had anything, and like I teach classes that we'll talk about like old games sometimes because it kind of ties in. And I had them do a project where they had to research like how a game was made as high school, right? So like tell me about the development of this game, and it was just supposed to be like a fun, exciting thing. And they kept picking games that came out like in the last like 3 months, and it's like, okay, good luck finding, FIFA, postmortems and stuff. And I was trying to tell them like, why don't you like go back like 20 years or maybe even 30 years, and they're just like, what, to the Stone Age,
Ooh.
And it's just like one of them didn't know that Smash Ultimate was not the first in the series. And it's like, yeah, there was this game called Melee, and then it was pretty popular. But I am a teacher after all. You gotta let them know. But
Oh, you didn't know?
You didn't know? But
well, high school kid, your ass better call somebody! I had to work it in. I only got the first half in.
I said that to them, and they just stared at me because they're used to my outbursts, and so it didn't faze them. But no, like, you know, I do like to, like, you know, encourage kids to check out the old stuff. You know, there's some good stuff back there, I promise. It's not all just like, it's like asking a kid to play with like an abacus or something, I guess. Like, they just cannot see the fun in it. You know, like, bead goes left, bead goes right. You know, whatever. You know, do you have any games on your phone? But every now and then, one of them was like, "Oh, yeah, Mr. t0uchan, I played this game and it was actually really good. Thanks for recommending it to me." And I'm like, I'm hitting every surface around me and you know, triumph here. But you know, so that's my duty as a teacher. I don't know how I got on this subject. I'm just, you know.
I'm happy that you take your responsibility to teach the next generation about the games that we had growing up. I remember my first game. My very, very first game that I remember playing was Super Dodgeball. I go hard in the paint for Super Dodgeball. It took me years because I didn't remember I was so young I didn't remember the name. My grandma had a shoebox of NES games in her vacation house.
Yeah.
And so we only went there like once a year. And so I got to play Super Dodgeball like once a year. And then the last time I ever went there, she's like, "Oh, I moved it to the new place." And we didn't have it. And I was like, "Oh, damn." And then I forgot about it for 20 years until someone gave me an emulator with every single, a legitimate console with every game. And I looked through every single game until I found it. And it was Super Dodgeball.
That sounds so similar to my situation growing up, because like we had the NES, but you know, we'd go to my grandma's and she'd have the NES set up, and she had two games. She had tennis and Donkey Kong Jr. And so I got really good at both of those, like, and I could school people in that, like, old. It's just called tennis. Yeah, that's how old it is, right? It's not called like Lee Carvalho's Amazing Tennis. It's just tennis. And I was just baller at tennis, you know, at the tender age of 6, you know, and I'm sure my parents were very proud.
A translatable life skill, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what if I play real tennis? Oh, turns out I'm terrible.
My brother had golf. And he rode hard for golf. Yeah, that was the beauty of it. Back then, you didn't have to have marketing. It was just golf. What do you need another golf game? You got golf.
I don't think real golf had been invented yet. I think they got it from video games.
We had in the dark days before that, we just had putt-putt.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone's like, "Whoa, what if we had this, you know, long distance golf?" They called it long distance golf at first.
Then they're like, "What if we make it with multiple clubs?" Right? That's like the expansion pack.
Yes, and make it prohibitively expensive. That was cool,
and then we'll force women to wear a skirt, even though it's not practical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really took some liberties there. I am not a golfer. I can't stand golf. Well, I'll play golf with friends, though. With friends.
Are you like the Rodney Dangerfield kind of golfer?
That's, you know, I'm the Rodney Dangerfield of a lot of things. I'm willing to include golf in there. I'm also
with a head like that, you get a free bowl of soup. Oh, looks good on you, though.
You are the Rodney Dangerfield of Rodney Dangerfield impressions.
I tell you, I get no respect. One time I got lost at the beach, and I said, Mister, will I ever find my parents? And the guy goes, "Gee, kid, I don't know. There's so many places they could hide."
Do you like sit up and memorize Rodney Dangerfield jokes the way that like people go and like, you know, Rap Genius and?
No, it's crazy, but I am a big. Everything comes from The Simpsons for me. Mm-hmm. So I start with The Simpsons. Right, and so there's the episode where he's Mr. Burns' son.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then I'm like, "Oh, who's that dude?" And it's like, "That's Rodney Dangerfield." I don't know about you, but like when I was in like we're not that like far apart in age, but I think there's just enough of a gap here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like right at the beginning when I was in college. It was right at the beginning of when streaming was popular,
Oh, really?
but piracy was like still more convenient.
Yeah.
So like we had Netflix and that was it. We had Hulu, and Hulu was like what you did for the TV. So Hulu was like, oh, if you wanted to watch like last night's show, that's what you had. And then like everything else was just easier to borrow, right? Which I I never did, but I knew where to go and to look. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to write this paper and I'm going to watch Rodney Dangerfield's like top 5 movies.
Okay.
So I would like watch like Back to School and like, you know, Caddyshack and whatever. And then I'd be like, oh, that was really cool. And then I'd be like, let me go watch like Rodney Dangerfield stand up. And so that's just like the Rodney Dangerfield thing, but it works for everything. So like Steve Martin, right? He's in an episode of The Simpsons. I'm like, oh, I love Steve Martin. Oh, he was the waiter in the Muppet movie. And he gives Kermit the Frog a straw to drink wine that he paid like $6 for. And it's like, that's pretty funny. Then I'm like, oh, let's watch The Jerk. Oh, let's watch The Three Amigos. And
you just go down a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't sleep a lot because I was awake,
You're so
I guess.
Consumed with the pursuit.
It soon consumed my life.
Steve Martin's from where I'm from, I think.
Steve Martin? In Dallas?
Yeah, he's from Waco, which is pretty close.
Shout out to the Waco Kid.
Yeah.
Something like that. From Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's actually a blind spot for me. I've never watched Blazing Saddles, I know.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Mel Brooks is good.
No, I love like Men in Tights and Spaceballs and stuff like that. So,
it freaks kids out when you show them Dave Chappelle and Men in Tights.
Oh yeah, they're like, yeah, these people have been around for a long time. You know, it's the same players. You know, kids have no idea that the world existed prior to 2000. You know, the last century.
Is that your experience teaching the youth of tomorrow?
It's you know, how can you expect them to know everything that you know when you've been alive more than twice as long as they have, and you're constantly discovering stuff? Yeah, so it's like you have to be real with yourself. Like, you know, give them time; they'll find all that cool stuff too. You know, they're interested in it. You know, it's not like no one's better than anyone here. But it's like at the same time, it's like that immediate like, how do you not know that? You know.
I guess this generation of kids that's in high school now exists in the post 9/11 world.
Yeah, that's kind of how. That's the most useful way to determine who's in what generation. If you ask me, what's the big tragedy that you remember? You know,
right?
So if you don't remember 9/11, but you do remember, something else. I guess it would be, COVID, then, you're this generation. Or if you're me, I was too young for Challenger, the shuttle explosion, but I was old enough for 9/11. So I'm in that generation. And then before that, it's I don't know.
Pearl Harbor?
That was right before. Right.
Watergate? I don't know. What other generation defining tragedies? I guess Vietnam.
There's JFK.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah. So my mom remembers those, right? Sorry, Mom. But
shout out to Bird Mom.
Yeah. No, love my mom. But that's it's better than you were born in 1980 or 19, It's more like you have more in common with this generation than that one,
Right. Yeah, I get that. I get behind that.
Yeah.
Do you think obviously it sounds like patience is key. It's something that I don't have a lot of. I definitely don't think I could have been a teacher because I'm listen, I just said it 3 times. Why weren't y'all paying attention?
Oh yeah.
What do you mean you don't have a pencil? You have one job. You have 2 jobs. The first job is to get here. The second is to listen. The third is to have a pencil. You have 3 jobs. What do you mean you don't have a pen?
You have 1 job. It's really 3 that's really
and Billy,
like 21.
And Billy, you're at home now. What do you mean you don't have a pen? Go find one.
Yeah. Well, it definitely takes a specific skill set to be an effective teacher. Anyone can be a teacher. Being effective is like, people define that different ways. But I won't get too deep into like, I've watched so many slideshows and, professional development things about it, like teacher centric versus student centric and all that. But ultimately, like, you just need to remember that they're human, right? Like, don't power trip on them. Don't, they're not your captives. They're just your students. And just like try to have an air of mutual respect, and they tend to they tend to happily partake in things. That's just sort of the general. But you have to be a human being. Like, you can't just be like, that's a job that's not going to go away anytime soon. I think.
I had I was like the kid that didn't have to study. Like, if I was in the classroom, I got an A.
Yeah.
Except for geometry for some reason, because shapes are hard and people don't understand. Shapes are really hard.
Yeah.
Only person in my class to ever fail geometry.
Oh no.
So, I was like, I just had to show up. But the stuff that I remember as an adult is only the stuff that was either fun or the stuff that was taught to me by the teachers that treated me like an adult human.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember anything. We had 2 years of upstate New York, that's where I live, like Native American studies, and it was the most boring, droll, like nothing, like reading, and we had to make like shoebox dioramas. The dioramas with the spray paint and the army men, and I'm like, this is really ironic. We're spray painting cowboys to look like the Native Americans. This is like really weird and wrong on a number of levels.
There's some subtext there.
Yeah, I'm like, this like, and also all these things were made in China. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
So, but I don't remember like anything from people that were like, oh well, you. Like, I remember everything my journalism professor ever said, because he treated me like I was like, okay, you're an adult, kind of. You're almost there, so I'm gonna treat you like one.
It's peculiar. You have to treat them like an adult to an extent, because you're trying to ease them into adulthood and prepare them for it, but also like have the patience, and know that they're still a child in a lot of ways, and you need to expect that. If you go in expecting them to be like, like a college class or something, and it's because you're not teaching a college class,
right?
So anyway, it's like, it's a lot to juggle, but I enjoy it. Like, I don't know, like I like when kids, will just volunteer that they like my class, or they like something, or it's obvious that they liked the 3D modeling lesson or something. So now it's like they're just 3D modeling all the time. And it's like, I will bend all of our future assignments in a way that, allows you to, shoehorn 3D modeling into it, because they just like it. And if you can get a kid excited about something, then it's like, it's really important to like, to maintain that spark and all that. And then this is turning into like, like an Oprah interview here, but that's just what I aim for. I'm like looking for sparks and trying to help kids that way. I'm not like, it's just like, no, what do y'all want?
You're not Ben Stein and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, I'm not. I'm the opposite of that.
On the scale of Ben Stein and Miss Frizzle, where do you find yourself on the spectrum?
Definitely hard frizzle.
Okay. Yeah. I think a related question, so that we get off the Oprah. Although I gotta say, I found it really interesting. So how does that same level of patience that you have, is that like an acquired skill that applies to like speed running? Like, is that a transferable skill for you?
It's, well, patience is patience. It's fundamentally you're able to tell yourself, hey, slow down for a sec, take this in, like don't spring to this or that action or conclusion or whatever, So it's a fundamental thing, and yeah, it wraps over to other stuff. Like, I think it comes with just experience with the world, right? When you're younger, you tend to just jump to conclusions, and because you're like acting fast, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just it's beyond my pay grade, really, to dive into that. But I think as you get older, you're more cautious, and you are able to afford things, in terms of affording that this could be the circumstance, or what if there's this, like somebody, freaks out on you and yells at you, right? That happens, and it's like, well, what if I approach this compassionately, and what if I think maybe this person has a lot bothering them, right? Maybe I shouldn't take it too personally. It's like one of those things. But with speedrunning, I think that it rolls over because you find yourself kind of like you hit a snag, or something happens, and your emotions erupt inside of you, and you're like, and then you're able to kind of parse out what's happening. And so yeah, I think it does. You have to be really patient to speedrun. It might even teach you patience, I guess. All I know is when I'm grinding Sonic or something, one little thing goes wrong, you have to reset. It sucks sometimes, and especially with people watching you, and it's way harder than some people give it credit for. But if you can keep it together, patience is a key part of it, and it's pretty indispensable as a skill.
You might be selling yourself and your patience too short, because the level of which I have patience for a child is definitely more than the patience I have for myself. When I'm doing something myself, it is I think the best example is that I got a new chair at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And my chair broke, and I had tried repairing the old chair, and this is a key part of the story. I bought a new gas cylinder, I got a new base, I got new wheels, and the problem was that the base of the chair was manufactured in such a way that the part that screws to the bottom of the chair, that you could not replace the part even with an OEM part, and you could not detach it successfully to repair it. And so I was like, all right, my dying hope, I'll get a replacement everything in one solid piece off of eBay. And I earlier that week had put a fence in the ground, a temporary fence, because of a leak in the pool, which caused all the water to drain out. It's an in-ground pool.
Yeah.
So I had this giant mallet and this sledgehammer in my apartment, and the part came and it didn't fit, and within 5 minutes I wailed on that thing until it was just a crumpled ball of metal. So that's the level of patience I have for myself when I'm trying to put together a chair.
Yeah.
I have less patience when I'm doing a speed run. So, but I have slightly more when Timmy's like, why does the sun set?
Uh-huh.
That little Timmy, curious tyke that he is.
People rag on like Karen and all these things, but no one's ever asked how Timmy's doing.
No one's ever asked how Timmy's doing. That's
Timmy
right.
Timmy gets a lot of flack. He's a child.
we really give it to Timmy.
Yeah, we gotta do something nice for Timmy.
And that little boy that nobody liked grew up to be
also Timmy. Tim.
Also Timmy.
Yeah.
This is the pop culture show.
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, it's always like, oh, little Timmy, I don't mean a lot of little Timmys. I mean mostly Jacobs.
You have a lot of Jacobs.
A lot of Jacobs. Yeah, there's a lot of.
We had a lot of Johns.
Yeah, like bathrooms.
No, well, that too. Yeah.
Oh,
We had a bunch of really old bathrooms. We had a bunch of dudes named John.
Yeah. So at any time, the bathroom's like particularly busy, you have a lot of Johns on John, right? Seems appropriate.
Right. And then if it's a sex worker bathroom, there's Johns in the lobby.
Oh gosh. We're in adult land here. But
this podcast is clearly E for explicit, not E for everyone.
Yeah.
Listen, I can turn a phrase.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. If you're Timmy Turner, then you can turn a phrase.
He's just an average kid that nobody understands. It's okay.
Yeah, I never actually watched that show. It was a little yeah.
May it come a little late for you?
Yeah, I did. I was gosh, like I was part of that, that Nick generation where like all the good stuff was Nickelodeon, then Cartoon Network came along.
So you're in the salute your shorts.
Yes, they don't really salute their shorts on that show very often.
No, it's definitely misadvertising, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't expose themselves to a bunch of people on the Pinwheel Network.
Well, there's such a thing as like Zoom on the camera. But, I think on one episode they saluted someone's shorts, and then that was it. Just name
the
it
pilot.
Yeah, so we're gonna name the show after like a throwaway event that happened in one episode.
I'm trying to think of other shows that were in that time. Pete and Pete.
Pete and Pete. There were two Petes.
Danny Tamborelli, shout out.
Yeah. And
kids now know him as the son from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Is he really?
Yeah, he plays the spoiled, weird son on the Grand Theft Auto 5. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, the other guy, I forget his name, but I'm not a big fan of him, I guess, because I don't know his name. But I always liked his vibe, So used to older Pete just speaking to me and breaking fourth wall, like older Pete.
Pete and older Pete, that's a different show.
Yeah. Pete and geriatric Pete, yeah.
Pete and sexually explicit Pete.
Oh no. That would be awful. No, if you go back and watch Pete and Pete though, there's like all the guest appearances on that show. Like they had Janine Garofalo, they had Iggy Pop, they had like,
Iggy Pop was on Pete and Pete?
Yeah. And so was Kate Pearson from the B-52s and
Michael Morona, is that the guy's name? Big Pete?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. That's Big Pete. Mm-hmm. If I met him in real life, like on the street, like Pete on the street, and I said, "Hi, Pete," and he just looked me in the eyes and said, "Hey," I'd be really used to it because I watched that show a lot,
Steve Buscemi was in the show?
He was, Steve Buscemi, yeah.
He was Phil.
Yep. There's a lot of, not to mention, people like, there were other actors who went on to did other stuff like Michelle Trachtenberg, right? I think
Ellen, what the hell is this list? Drew Carey.
Drew Carey's on the show.
He had a guest star. Ellen Cleghorn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
From SNL.
Janine Garofalo, sure.
Mm-hmm. You're looking at a list now.
Patty Hearst. LL Cool J.
Oh, Debbie Harry was on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys was on Pete and Pete.
She was a student in one of the...
You're lying.
No, it says so right here.
No
it needs citation needed. Okay.
Goldust.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, Sid Vicious. Mantar.
New Age Outlaws.
Oh, you didn't know about Alicia Keys?
That's a weird era in the Pete and Pete, arc.
Hey, listen, the Pete and Pete zeitgeist just keeps getting expanded. This is 30. They had 34 episodes in 3 seasons over 5 years, and they had in that time 34 amazing guest stars.
That's amazing. I mean, you just said it was amazing, but it is.
Let's see what else. What else they had? The Secret
had
World
that
of
show.
Alex Mack.
Oh yeah, Larissa Olenek. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah. He had a who's the guy who did the voice? I think it's D. Bradley Baker. What's the voice?
D. Bradley Baker. Yeah.
Yep. That guy's amazing. He's been in so much stuff. He's incredible. That guy. I used to do, Oh no, never mind.
No, you used to do what?
No, it's actually on second thought. I shouldn't talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Guts was on at that time.
Yeah. You know what was cool about Guts? Okay. I'm gonna tell you what's cool about Guts, right? Yeah.
Do you have it?
Well, no, but I did have it on the SNES. But Guts is cool because I had no concept of a lot of countries outside of America, until Guts came along. And the kids would be on there and they'd be telling you about, the Netherlands or something, or, a nation in Africa or something. And you'd be like, whoa, that's cool. This kid's from there. They're like me. And, except they're more athletically gifted. And I'm eating a can of Pringles right now. I thought it was a bag. I'm not even sure what I'm eating right now. I'm eating another thing. I'm out of control. But you're watching it and you're picking up little, things off them. And then it just totally look, they're all kids. They all compete the same. And, so it's very, progressive show in that kind of way.
Sure. It gives you hope that you may too one day find yourself off of the couch, not eating a bag of what may or may not be pork rinds,
right?
Eating with other kids. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Climbing a mountain instead, which sounds great on paper.
Scaling the aggro crag. I mean,
yeah, you hit the actuators. There's big foam rocks fall on your head. Gas.
They had to be. That was bigger than wrestling. Those big foam rocks, they sold for those fucking things. They got hit by those and they went down.
I think if Nickelodeon had wrestling,
that's what it would be.
I think it would be over the top and it'd be amazing. And there'd be slime and missed opportunities.
Instead of Stone Cold rolling up with the beer truck, it's like Rosie O'Donnell running away with
foam rubber Stimpy.
With a foam rubber Stimpy and the slime truck.
They were both wearing hush puppies.
You know what the best part about 90s Nick is?
What's that?
They went super hard for no reason. Friggin' Coolio sings the Keenan and Kel theme song.
I know every word of it. I love Keenan and Kel.
And the video for the music video, which is the intro, you can tell the kids are excited to be with Coolio. Coolio is not excited to be with the kids.
I had a friend who actually opened for Coolio because there's a little rap.
Get out of town!
Actually, it was in my town, and he came through for a little festival. And he was the headliner one night, and because he was a name that people knew. And I have some friends who are underground rapper type people, and so they opened for Coolio, but they were telling me about hanging out with Coolio backstage, and he was just really just did not want to be there. He just didn't want to talk to anybody, and it's not so Coolio now, are you? I feel like I'm on to you, Coolio. In fact, I'm calling you out. You said don't call anybody out, and I said, oh, fine, but I'm calling you out, Coolio.
I'm saying if you're from Houston, the rule of Houston is don't call someone out because you don't know what they got on them. That's why you don't honk at people. That's why you don't honk at people in traffic in Houston.
Yeah,
they might have the element.
Yeah. Maybe less so if they're driving an element.
A Honda Element. Yeah, I don't think that the illegal firearm is big with the Honda minivan crowd.
You got to pick your battles. Toast your car. I can yell at them. Right.
There was you mentioned Coolio and Coolio not being really cool. My sister went to a music festival near me and was promoted by the local radio. I think this is honestly one of the funniest stories. It would have been 2004, 2005, 2006.
Okay.
And she's waiting in line, And the allure of it was that a bunch of like, she was into like music that's like sort of like at the time screamo wasn't really there, so it was like kind of like louder punk rock, something in the vein
like
of
hardcore, post-hardcore
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but with the screaming, but it wasn't all there, and like kind of Coheed and Cambria vibe, because
I love Coheed.
Coheed's from my one of the drummers from my town. So
okay.
yeah, so like we're all big Coheed, so it's kind of like in the style of that, right? Like you can hear it. And they're in line because they're getting in line to see like Poison the Well, I think,
Sure.
and or like, you know,
sounds like Uranium era, yeah. Like,
and they're in line because that's what they're waiting for. But that is actually opening for a bigger act, right? Like it's like this stage, this block, and then someone else opens, and then later on the main show is that this person's going to be on. So this guy shows up in the line, and he's like, "Yo, who's here to see Method Man?" And my sister looks at him and goes, "Who the fuck is here to see Method Man?" And it ended up being Method Man.
Oh no! Oh no, dude!
I know. He's like, "Who's here to see Method Man?"
Oh no, poor Method Man.
I was like, Sarah, you put Method Man on blast. He went to this tiny little fucking thing. It wasn't even. It's not like Wu came. It was just Method Man.
It was just Method Man.
It's just Method Man, and he's gonna come on after the friggin' the Poison the Well.
I'm just picturing Method Man coming on and like looking all sad, like he doesn't want to be there anymore. You know, like
wasn't he in The Wire? Yes.
He might. Yeah. I didn't watch all of that, but
he was Cheese.
He was Cheese. I learned something.
Shout out to Alan. Good.
Yeah, but he's no, I don't know. I feel bad for Method Man now. Maybe Method Man and Coolio can hang out. And they can be friends.
They can make a super group.
I think Method Man's in a super group.
They can make a new one. It's like when Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block made a super group.
You know, I would think like they should have marketed Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all that like harder to boys, and just say like, you know, make like videos of like who would win in an epic showdown between Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, you know, and like you measure their power levels, and like there's whole like, you know, fan theory videos are like 20 minutes long about you know, like Howie, you know, he's got this skill, but you know, JT, you know, but yeah, I didn't come to them until like later. I was like really resistant to the boy band craze back then.
Oh, I dove head first.
You did really?
I really did.
It was a stigma at my school. We were like, we don't listen to that. I don't know.
I was a little younger, so I had the privilege of like nobody was asking me what my music tastes were.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd be like at home saying like I want it that way.
Well, yeah, I was you know, I had to throw up a wall and be like, yeah, I don't like that stuff. Like excellent singing, yeah, not for me. Until later, and then it's like, oh boy, and just, you know, just they're really good.
Yeah.
You know, like I give up.
Like, do you just like? It's like people are like, oh, I don't like NSYNC. I'm like, do you just not like fun? Like you're like out here telling me that you're gonna like tell me you don't like Justin Timberlake.
There is a big emphasis on the DIY ethos, you know, and it's like that was seen as like manufactured, you know, and it's like your jeans are manufactured. It's like shut up.
Got him.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, something that personal. It can't be that, you know, corporate. But yeah, you know, all my friends listen to like new metal, which is Not any
Fair
better.
enough. Like, I mean, they're really into like the my name up, you know. Like they go hard in the paint for corn.
Oh, wait, I think I know one of the songs. Like, twist, 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 twist. Yeah. I'm not
That's like
kidding.
Every time that I think like new metal, it's Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Kid Rock.
No, I think of like, well, you got to think of Korn for sure.
Yeah, Korn.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit was popular, but
POD, Papa Roach.
Yeah, see, those are all the bands I didn't like as much. Like,
Stained.
Yeah, I didn't like those either. Like, Stained really, really wanted to be Alice in Chains more than Godsmack did.
Well, shout out to Godsmack.
Stay away from me. No, I was so t0uchan sings new metal hits. That's the name of your podcast.
On KBBY 103.9, The Cat.
Yeah, The Cat.
That's one of the station names up here. I'm like, man, y'all got tired of rebranding. Y'all just went with The Cat.
The Cat.
They like. I think I'm pretty sure I've heard like new metal called like mallcore.
Yeah, mallcore. I mean, it kind of devolved into that. I listened to like Korn, but like Deftones and something like the more. I like to think the more reputable, the more esteemed, the more bourgeoisie.
She said as she flicked her hair back,
putting on a Cold Chamber album. Like, this is for elegant individuals. No, but
I play Hybrid Theory when I have company over.
Hybrid Theory is a dope ass album. It's really good.
It is a dope ass album,
yeah.
But it also falls right smack dab in the middle of new metal.
Well, it's a band that people don't talk about enough from that era. It was Orgy. Remember Orgy?
Orgy?
Yeah.
What's their song?
Blue Monday was a cover of a New Order song, but they also had a song called Stitches.
It's not great when we start off with their best song is a cover of someone else's song.
That was their first song, but like Stitches is such a good song. Oh man, he's got the fake British accent, and like he's got everyone's wearing like pink and blue makeup, and I'm like really confused, like why is this amazing? And no, but for real, like I really like that band because Amir Durak's guitar stuff was just really impressive, even now. But now they're like, I don't know, they're kind of a shell of what they used to be. They're still around.
They exist in a sort of a subsistence basis.
Yeah, it's like like all the members are different now. Except like one guy, and so it
feels, 41 all over again.
It feels more like School of Rock than anything. It's just like a revolving door. Like I'm an orgy now. Okay, sounds like it's gonna be a fun 6 months.
It's in the name. It's interchangeable, right?
Right. I guess so. I didn't think about it that way. It's like, so you're called Orgy. Do y'all? No. We don't. No, it's just a name.
Right. All right. We're gonna take a pause. I am going to tell you my top 5 favorite bands.
Let's go.
All right. I wish I had some kind of theme song to plug in here, but I don't. At number 5, Avenged Sevenfold. Love Avenged Sevenfold. Started with Waking the Fallen, Bad Country. Waking the Fallen, then the City of Evil album, which is what Bad Country was on. My ringtone for like 5 years was a polytune version of Unholy Confessions. And I had my little...
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, the worst breakdown in the history of the world.
The death knell of midis.
On my little Nokia brick phone that came installed with Snake. Number 4. I'm gonna go ahead and put Rage Against the Machine on here because that's like that is like right in my genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like. My mom explained to me her music taste because it never made any sense to me. It was like she liked the Beatles but didn't like the Rolling Stones. She liked she would like she liked Godspell, like she would like Alice Cooper but didn't like Ozzy Osbourne. And I was like, well, why? Like, what? She's like, I have to be able to understand what they're saying. She couldn't understand Ozzy or Mick Jagger.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, okay.
So for me, I always liked smart lyrics, and obviously everything in Rage is like, it's there if you want it. Otherwise, it's just like, angry.
Yeah, and then you learn who the Zapatistas are. And,
yeah, there you go. And you go from there.
Yeah.
Number 3. Number 3 is pretty hard, but I'm really like sitting here trying to lean into. It's probably gonna be like CCR.
Really? Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
It's an eclectic kind of thing. Like if I was gonna go singles artist, it would be Bob Seger. But like no, I like it. It's just like everything's a hit, everything's catchy, it's quick.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a fun story about there's a bad moon on the rise, right? But it sounds like he's saying there's a bathroom on the right.
Yeah.
And all the lyrics totally, play into that, like misheard lyric too.
Right.
They escape me right now, but like it turns from the profound thing he was singing about to I really have to go to the bathroom.
With the change of just a small thing. I see a bathroom on the right. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bedtimes today. Yeah,
really has to go to the bathroom. It's bad.
It's like we're about to have a situation.
Yeah, like when there's lightning shooting out of your ass, those clams were not good.
Or you're in Tenacious D, the movie,
which we just watched the other day.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, we actually just did. No. In my Discord, we watch movie nights, or we watch movies on movie nights, and we watched that on Friday.
Meatloaf as the dad is one of my favorite touches about that movie.
People don't realize that that's Meatloaf, off the jump, but yeah,
they trotted out Dio and Meatloaf for one scene in the beginning of that movie.
Yeah, there were so many cameos. It was like I was watching Pete and Pete. It was they had you had people playing roles like Paul F. Tompkins. I didn't know he was in that movie. Amy Poehler, they had who was it? Tim Robbins was in the movie.
Tim Robbins was in Tenacious D. Bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up.
He is. He's like this drifter character. He's absolutely in the movie. He reminds you kind of Andy McCoy from Hanoi Rocks. His look.
What the fuck?
He's in the movie.
He's in the movie.
Yes. It's worth a rewatch. I don't know.
Dave Grohl is Satan.
Yes.
Meatloaf, obviously. J.R. Reed. Ben Stiller.
I thought you were just saying a non sequitur. Like, yeah.
No. Paul F. Tompkins. John C. Reilly. Colin Hanks.
Sasquatch. Colin Hanks throws a cup at spoilers.
Yeah.
Colin Hanks throws a cup at Jack Black's head. No, at Kyle Gass's head. Okay.
Amy Adams.
Yep.
Jason Segel. Fred Armisen.
I met Jason Segel.
Did you?
At Austin Film Festival a few years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
He's a nice man. That's it. And the guy who wrote Seven. I met them. And
the movie Seven? What's in the box?
Yeah, the guy who wrote that. I met that guy, yeah. He's cool. But I met him in the context of like I had a whole entourage of students with me.
Oh, that's cool.
I took them to a film festival.
Number 2 on my list. Really hard to not put Coheed at number 1, but I'm going to put Coheed at number 2.
Okay.
Love Coheed.
Love Coheed too. They're probably in my top 5 too.
Yep. Everything except I couldn't get into the newest album, but I'll get there.
Yeah,
I even like the radio stuff that they made.
Yeah, no, like what I can't remember all their crazy names for stuff, but Second Stage Turbine Blade. Love that album.
Yep.
My first one was In Keeping Secrets. That was my first album from them. But I think I probably listened to Second Stage Turbine Blade more than any of them. I don't know. I'm old school, Coheed. But
I have a Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4 that they autographed for me.
Really?
It's a vinyl. Yep, they all did. And then they came back, and I have No World for Tomorrow, which is volume 2 of that album, and they also autographed that one. So that's like one of the coolest things I have in my music collectible stuff. That's pretty cool.
Did you ever read the Amory Wars?
I did.
Did you? I have yet to read it.
They're pretty good.
Does it have a lot of cameos, like Pete and Pete? You know what I like?
There's no Coolio.
Oh, no, Coolio's not in the Amory Wars.
There's no Method Man.
Who's here to see Method Man?
All right. And the last, my number one band is Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't know much about them.
They're good.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm gonna check them out.
It's kind of like they do the screaming thing, but then they like do singing with it, so it's like kind of like both. They had some rap in there for a while.
Okay.
They've had 3 vocalists.
I love the screaming thing. I'm actually a huge metalhead.
Yeah.
And yeah, I not just new metal. You know, I actually used to play in the 2000s in college. I used to play in metal bands.
What instrument do you play?
I am a guitar player. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I played metal guitar in a band called A Shallow Grave in the 2000s. Yeah.
You know, interesting.
Got my teeth on that.
It's pretty cool.
It was kind of that, you know, you call it mallcore, not really. It was more like metalcore. It was very kill switchy, you know. But all the guys in it were like big music nerds, but all we could really cobble together was just like a riff salad, like, oh, this sounds cool. You know, oh, this sounds cool. But
hey, listen, people to this day will sit in their car and listen to AC/DC like someone resurrected Mozart from the grave. So, if nothing else, like,
I'm not a big fan of AC/DC, I'm afraid to report.
I like the main hits, but I'm not like a go hard in the paint for AC/DC. I have better things to do with my time than campaign for AC/DC, the man in his schoolboy uniform.
Angus Young?
Angus, yeah. I'm not here for Angus.
Yeah, I love his steak. His steak is really good.
Choice, but USDA choice. Yeah.
Yes. But his music is, I don't know.
Leaves much to be desired.
School of Rock. Yeah, I think if you flunked out of School of Rock, then that's not really as cool.
Yes, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
It is. It's a long way. Better bring some Cliff Bars.
You hear that, Miranda Cosgrove? I don't know. I have like a wide range. I mean, I like a lot of different stuff. Some people are like, I cannot listen to X. And I'm like, I'll listen to whatever. I like country. This has been like a Dolly Parton week, you know?
Yeah, I love my mom is basically Dolly Parton. She's
in what way are you saying?
Oh, just
blonde hair.
Blonde hair. Leave it there. But no, she's like demeanor and everything. We're a very Southern family.
Did you ever see The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
I never saw it. I did go to Dollyland though as a kid.
Yeah, Dolly's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went and saw like a big, you know, like I don't know what it is, like a rodeo / performance thing. When they gave us like whole chickens to eat.
It's like medieval times.
I'm like 11. I'm at Dolly Land or World or whatever it is. I forget which Dolly institution it was, but it was like a big like rodeo. Not my first rodeo, by the way. And they gave us like a whole chicken, and I'm just like, this is strange. I guess I'll eat this whole chicken while I watch this rodeo clown sing some like country song from the 60s or whatever.
He's going for it.
Yeah. He's doing a great job. I couldn't think of a random country artist name. I don't remember.
He's a rodeo clown in the middle of the things, just singing Randy Travis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love you forever and ever.
Randy
forever
Travis
and ever.
is from where I'm from also. And
is he the other Waco kid?
No, he's from, I think he lives in Valley View, which is a really small town close to Dallas. And all I know is that, and this is, you didn't hear this from me.
The inside scoop. Okay.
I remember reading all about his whole like drinking escapades, and he would wake up. Randy Travis would wake up hungover in a church parking lot on Sunday. And
I believe that.
He's gonna like come back and like, hey, that is a half truth. It was a Thursday.
You calling me a liar?
That, and if we're talking connections, like Trace Atkins is from a really small town in Louisiana, and that's where like a lot of my family lives.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm talking like under 1,000 people live there.
For those of you that are unfamiliar with the work of Mr. Adkins, I need only direct you to the composition of Honky Tonk Badonkadonk.
Honky Tonk Badonkadonk, yep. If you went to Sarepta, Louisiana, you would know that Honky Tonk Badonkadonk is not a common thing you'd see out there.
No, they have a 4-tooth maximum out there.
Yeah, no. They have a convenience store that has ices, and there's a lot of I don't know. There's like more churches per capita than like, it's like greater than one. It's like it's like, hey, you need to go to church, you're covered. But no, it's like this little ass town out there, and I know it very well. So.
Honky Tonk Badonkadonk is a go-to song for me for karaoke.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah, I know all the words.
You're invited to my next karaoke.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also do Madonna.
Okay.
And I'll do I do a good Material Girl.
Okay.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Noticing a trend here.
I have 6 sisters. What do you want?
I
want to go back to Randy Travis because I know how much you love cameos. I would hate to deprive you of Randy Travis's most famous cameo.
Okay.
He was in The Rainmaker. John Grisham's The Rainmaker. He plays a jurist. Like he's a member of the jury, and he's the one that they're like, they like trick the opposing counsel into like calling him a liar, like it's like, oh, jury tampering or whatever, and they think that they got him because they bugged the phones, and they just made that up. And he's like, "Are you calling me a liar?" And then Randy Travis just straight up was like tackles the guy onto the floor. His shoes come off. It's a great movie. Matt Damon, Danny DeVito.
Travis. Yeah, all-star cast.
Yeah, all-star cast.
It really is. Yeah.
Any movie that starts with the person who wrote it in the name of the title is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lemony Snicket. You got, that's it.
Francis Ford Coppola,
Francis Ford Coppola's.
Oh no, Mario Puzo is the Godfather.
Oh, does it? Okay, I don't pay enough attention to movie titles. Apparently, I think they should all be titled that way.
There's a fun story about that guy. He wrote the screenplay for The Godfather, and he had never written a screenplay before. He adapted his own material. So after The Godfather came out, he was like, I want to learn how to actually write a screenplay. So he bought a book and to learn how to do it. And the first chapter of the book is, put down this book and go watch The Godfather.
Did he close it in frustration? Like, oh, like,
it's
fine.
Like, well, can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a nightmare. Like you've hit your upper limit. You feel like there's more.
He achieved so much.
Yeah.
I mean, he only made the perfect movie. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's no Tenacious D, but it gets by.
It's the second most perfect movie, I would say.
Which Jack Black film that we've covered in this podcast are you ranking above it? School of Rock or
no. It's actually a Tim Curry movie.
Okay.
I've always said that you only need 3 things for the perfect movie.
Dr. Frankenfurter. That's 3.
Muppets, Treasure, and an island. And you've got the perfect movie, my friend.
I'm a big Muppet fan. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with the.
You thought wrong?
I did think wrong. I assumed.
I'm a master. I'm a master of misdirection.
You are. You did. I do not think of Tim Curry when I think of Muppets Treasure Island.
Yeah, you remember when I told you I was a master of misdirection?
Just now? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I got you again, fool.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. This is like John Cena. You can't see me.
Where'd I go?
Oh no! You were so excited we lost you.
No, you couldn't hear me for a second.
It's like John Cena is in bed and the doctor's like, "Oh, I can't see you," and he's like, "Doctor, please, I need this emergency surgery."
It's like Patch Adams. I really don't need this right now. It's a treatable disease, please. That would suck. That would be terrible. You know,
the whole plot of Patch Adams was like, I don't need a license to practice medicine. That's the whole point of the movie. That's everything that he says. Like, it's like, do you need to have a license to teach people to dream? Do you need to have a license? It's like, listen, this isn't Dead Poet Society. This isn't even Hook. Captain. Yeah, this isn't even Hook. Like, come on.
Like an old woman.
The secret catalyst for so many people's inevitable growth hidden in the inlays of Robin Williams movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, every first-year teacher thinks it's going to be like Dead Poet Society. And really, it's more like, like
Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, it's more like Mrs. Doubtfire. No.
Oh, hello, dearie.
Hello, dearie. No, it's not like that.
You do your best Maggie Smith impression and hope for the best.
Yeah, right. Nah, I'm a big Robin Williams fan. I love Robin Williams. Like, he could tell a corny joke and I'd laugh. Like if you look at Robin Williams's repertoire of jokes, like they were corny sometimes. They were, but there was just something very like uplifting about his energy. So I think it was more than just the jokes, really.
Sometimes I wonder if there's like an ethics to what we find funny. Like, did we think that Robin Williams was so funny and alive and had all this energy, and we were seeing like the pain behind it all? Like, are we as humans able to identify like this is a person that's like actually giving us more than they have to give, but also like, because everyone's like, oh well, we never saw it coming, and it's like, yeah, the person that like can do the Chris Farley things or the Robin Williams things, it's always there. It's like it's one layer back beneath the surface.
Yeah,
like Chris Farley can't do fat guy in a little coat unless he actually has that insecurity, right?
Yeah,
or he's actually like a big kid in a way.
No, for sure. Like I see what you're saying for sure. And you have to be able to make a connection, I guess. It's not to get like, super deep or anything, but like you feel like they're your friend. You feel like they'd be nice to you. Kind of, like there's relatability there, and like everybody goes through struggles, and it's cool to see somebody like kind of triumphing over those in the moment, and I think that sort of imparts this like good feeling you got. Transcends the mechanics of the jokes. People get absorbed in the like, oh, this is the most expertly crafted joke I've ever heard, whatever. But like there's some weird comedians out there like like Emo Phillips, for example, or like Neil Hamburger or something like more like alternative comedians, and their delivery is all weird, and that's not how they actually like, it's a whole thing they put on, and they're performing for you, but like you kind of feel like you're in on something, and there's some inclusion and belonging there, which is like a Maslow need. And it gets really like psychological and like multi-layered and stuff. And it's fun to think about. Actually, soapbox time. All right, I got my soapbox. All right, let me set up my soapbox. I'm gonna get on my soapbox now.
Do it.
Like when people talk about stuff being funny, right? Or when they have like a joke that disparages this group or that group, and it's like, oh, it's just a joke, whatever. That irks me because like it not offends me, because like oftentimes, I just take exception to a joke just because it's like it's just mean and it punches down and stuff. And it's not even a group I'm in. There are certainly groups I am in that get punched down at, but I don't like the idea of like it made me laugh being this sort of like the end justifies the means, like such a noble pursuit, right? Like to laugh about anything, because I like laughing, right? But laughing should, I don't know, it should be an indicator of everybody enjoying themselves. It shouldn't be like oh, we're laughing because we're we punched down this group of people, and made them feel bad, and it's almost like you stole their joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, jokes that punch down they're hard because there are people that can like tell you like, oh, but I think it's funny, and like then the comedian will be like, well, comedy doesn't have to appeal to everybody. And like, it's a weird thing because in the context that they're presenting it, it's like, oh, well, what they think that you want or what you're advocating for, you want the most banal, boring, like, why the chicken crossed the road? You basically want the Marx Brothers,
like the neutered,
but you want you want the G-rated Marx Brothers. One of my favorite Marx Brothers jokes is, I can see it now. I can see you bending over a hot stove in my house, but I can't see the stove. Right? And that's that's a dumb joke. And it's, offensive and whatever.
But it's like 30s way of delivering jokes.
Well, that's not a fine song and dance, right? It's like, it just barely hints at it. And it's like, the comedian that's like advocates for like whatever, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, that joke probably doesn't fly now. There's probably funnier things to talk about. I don't think that we have to, like, if happiness is like a fixed commodity, I don't know why we have to take away. It's not, first of all, but I don't know why we have to take away from someone else to give to someone else. Like, I have to take away from you to give it to Timmy, just because I didn't ask about Timmy's day.
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels that way to me when someone makes a joke at someone else's expense when they like don't deserve it. I feel like someone is being robbed of joy and they don't deserve their joy to be robbed from them, kind of thing. Not that there's like a zero-sum thing, but like, like look at Aerosmith. Aerosmith, the band, right? They're Aerosmith. They take the air and they smith it into rock, right? And it's this magical wizard-like process.
This is your joke.
I'm playing around.
You'll be the next writer of 30 Rock, SNL.
But like, and I'm slowly stepping off my soapbox now. But like, I just don't like the sort of prevalent attitude of like, well, we should be able to joke about anything. And it's like, well, if you can joke about anything, then why don't you choose anything else?
Yeah.
And to me, here's what it really is. Like, if anyone's still kind of like got their arms folded at me hearing this. But yeah, I would say to that person, I really think that people who always resort to that kind of humor, right? I think they are hiding some pain, right? Because I think that they feel inadequate. I feel like they, the only way that they've been able to find belonging is through mean-spiritedness shared by other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like why the bully picks on you because he's really upset at himself.
Yeah, and you know, not to call them out or anything, I totally am, but I think that they don't have the comedic chops to, you know, joke about anything else. I don't think they're actually very good. It's more just like a say the thing. All my friends laugh, you know. I got kids in my class who, you know, call each other gay all the time, and they laugh when they say that. It's not a joke. It's not funny. They just say you're gay, and it's, you know, that's it. That's the extent of it. And then if I say, hey, that's not funny, and they say, well, we're laughing, right? Who am I to say that, you know, like, yeah, peak humor in 2021. But like, it's not, you know, it's not like, I can't respect it. Yeah. So anyway, we got real dark, didn't we?
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. I think that people that punch down like that, just honestly, it's a combination of like they just don't know what funny is, and there is no way to explain to somebody what funny is.
Yeah, it's
and so in their minds, the only thing that they can do is to channel the whatever they feel into like garbage, you know, just like. You know, like we had the PSAs in high school of like, when you say gay, do you know what you say? Knock it off. That was 10 years ago. You know?
Wait, what was it? This is
for me?
PSA?
Yeah, it was Wanda Sykes. It was like Wanda Sykes was on like a PSA. They would play in high school, like on our closed TV system or whatever.
I totally misunderstood the PSA. I thought it was like, hey, if you're gay, knock it off. Like,
no. No, I live in the liberal Northeast. No,
I was gonna say, like, what state is this?
Yeah, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Why is it not Arkansas? Anyway, so it was, when you say gay, do you know what you say? Knock it off, right? And then they had like a few. Like Wanda Sykes was there.
Cut it out, hey.
Yeah, and then
put a lid on it.
And what's funny was it was kind of silly for teenagers to hear that message, because like we all knew people in our class that were gay, and it was fine. Like we didn't.
Isn't that weird?
We didn't think about it, and then like we would be like, "Hey, when you say gay, do you know what you say? Knock it off." Like we joked on it because it was weird to hear it every day. Like it was every day. We heard it at like 8:30 in the morning every single day. So we started joking on it, and then it actually became ingrained in everybody. Like, oh, yeah, no, it's not cool. Don't do that.
Wow, whoa, weird. It's like almost like the opposite effect, but the opposite effect. I don't know. That's that made a full loop there.
It is a full loop.
Yeah, because it's like then they just like, hey, knock it off.
There's a word for that. It's like not a half pipe. It's like a full pipe.
Full pipe, which is just a pipe.
Yeah, like a hash pipe.
Like a hash, like that Weezer song.
Yeah. Why is it sumo wrestlers?
I don't know.
This is the reference show.
So few hash pipes in that video, but like so many. They should have called it. They should have called it. You know, should have called the song "Sumo Wrestlers." It's like, you know, you got your big cheese. I got my sumo wrestlers. Right? See, it flows and everything. Yeah. I think that songs should be named after what their music videos showcase next.
Well, that's just a tall order, right? You'd have Hoobastank doesn't know what to put in their videos.
Well, you know, you have like, like you watch a My Bloody Valentine video, there's like no blood anywhere.
Oh, exactly. Misadvertising.
You know? Yeah. You watch, you know, Lamb of God, no lambs.
The presence of God is dubious at best.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like a band crush? Like you were just like crush on like someone in the band? Because I gotta tell you, I'm gonna out myself right now.
Oh, do it.
I thought, first of all, Melissa Joan Hart has a piece of my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, if you cross the aisle, Rivers Cuomo, though, totally cute boy.
Well, I'll tell you, my first exposure to Rivers Cuomo, I should really think of using a synonym. My first
Rivers Phoenix? What?
No. My first time seeing a Rivers Cuomo signature video was like with the Windows 95 CD. They came with the Windows 95, like the Packer Bell, and it had the Buddy Holly videos directed by Spike Jonze in there. But it was just like 15 seconds of it, I think. No, I think it might have been the whole thing. But I was like, whoa, who's this band? Weezer, right? And yeah, and I couldn't tell what he looked like because it was like really low bit, right? And then later it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I never had a crush on Rivers Cuomo. I've had crushes on lots of musicians. And none of them ever get back to me. Trent, call me.
Trent Reznor?
Yeah. He's hot, dude. He's hot before, he's hot now.
How about Surge from System of a Down?
Surge is cool.
He sounds like he would scream at you a lot.
Yeah, but in a good way, like in a party way, with his operatic, like I don't want to hear that in the bedroom, but
he just decides to do a scale. Why not? I don't care.
I love it. Like we're joined here today with Sonic the Hedgehog speedrunner t0uchan. t0uchan, which musicians do you want to fuck?
Hey, listen, I didn't expect you to start like going through the phone book. I said Rivers Cuomo. You returned volley with Trent Reznor, and then I made a joke about Surge. I think
look, why I still have the white pages delivered to me every year
so that you can show kids in your class how to rip the thing in half.
Rip them in half. I'm known for my brute strength.
There's like a trick to that, isn't there? I think they did it on Mythbusters a while ago.
I don't know. All I know is that they have my blessing to rip them up because it's an invasion of privacy. Like it's like
a little bit.
Are like, well, a little bit. It has your full name, address, and phone number listed in an alphabetical directory, delivered to somebody else's doorstep.
You could have opted out.
I know, but like, what if you forget?
This is true.
Yeah, we would prank call people in the 90s.
How dare you, with funny sounding names?
Yeah, and there was a guy named, I'm sorry to say a name on here, but his name is Dr. Zbigniew, and he is in the back of the book.
Excuse me?
Yeah, sorry, I sneezed.
What was that name?
His name is Dr. Zbigniew. And it's a funny name.
So you to call him.
And it's probably a normal name in, whichever
former Soviet bloc country.
Yeah, I think it's in one of those like Balkan countries out there. But we called the number and nobody answered, which made us really start to worry about Dr. Zbigniew. So it was always like in the back of our minds, like, I hope that Dr. Zbigniew is okay. He's like, quit saying my name. He's never leaves me alone. 20 years later.
I used to work customer service for a company that sold nail fungus cream. That was my first job out of college. And specifically, I would process returns, and we required, for some unholy reason, photo evidence that it didn't work.
Okay.
So
Wait.
I would have to look at pictures of people's diseased feet to process returns in order to give people their money back. Even though our website clearly said 90-day guarantee, no questions asked, it was very much like you had to...
Wait.
Yeah.
No questions asked, but you had to screen it anyway.
Yeah, my boss
sounds like an elaborate prank.
My boss was a jerk. Anyway, we sold a bunch of stuff. We sold the pheromone perfume and cologne. Like this is how you get women to like you juice. And what's funny is that all the guys thought that the men's one smelled like awful. I don't have a sense of smell. But I did like the women's one.
Okay.
So anyway, there was a customer one time who I was on the phone with, and it was a young man, and his name was Peter Pants. So I was like, peed your pants? And I thought I was getting, they were ribbing the new guy, right? Like, they're like, oh, this is a joke. It's like, no, my name is actually Peter R. Pants. And I'm like, Peter R. Pants? It makes it sound worse. So I had to process. He bought he also had nail fungus, and he bought like a 9-month supply, and then he like got in under the 90-day window. It was like, it didn't work. And I always told people, like, it's 1 bottle per month. So if you buy the 3-month supply, that means it's 3 bottles. It's 3 months. So you shouldn't have anything to send back. They'd send me back like sealed bottles. I'm like, okay, I guess I was just holding on to your money.
No.
There was this one woman whose foot, like, it was going to fall off. And I was like, I think you have gangrene, madam. Like, I don't think this is like, your foot, you have necrosis of the skin and tissue.
Jeez.
Yeah. She lost that foot. Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but man, Peter Pants is sending me right now.
It's not the Pete or Pete that we were talking about earlier. It's
different Pete. Peter Pants.
Third
like
Pete.
When he was getting like really angry at you, did you tell him? Hey, look, calm down. Don't pee your pants over.
It's like
I'm sure.
Mr.
You got that
Mr. Pants, please don't get your underoos in a knot.
Mr. Pants, I could not keep my face straight. Talking to Mr. Pants. I don't know if I'm punching down now, but I'm absolutely.
Peter Pants, he had nail fungus. It's okay.
Yeah, new Title IX protections.
We're punching up.
Whose last name is Pants. Yes, the Pants bureaucracy will be dismantled.
Well, no one can say that we are hateful or prejudiced against the Pants people.
Oh, they're the ones in power.
Yeah, those damn pants-wearing fools.
Yeah.
Embrace the power of the skirt. Damn you! All right.
Yeah, Randy Travis, one of us. He woke up naked in a church parking lot.
He just likes the simple things.
Yeah.
He got no hankering for grabbing your brass ring.
How do you make that rhyme?
You didn't hear that song?
Oh, that's a real song. Okay.
Oh, this is a cameo. This is a cameo. Another cameo.
Okay.
Do you remember Hey Arnold?
I sure do.
The episode where Mr. Wynn is a country music star.
Was Randy Travis in that episode?
He's the voice of Mr. Wynn's singing voice. And he has a song called The Simple Things.
Oh, no. I remember Dino Spumoni.
Sonic Pow! I'll smash them all.
Honey, you left my heart in pieces on the floor. But tell me, why didn't I break some things of yours?
I sent you the link.
Oh, no. It exists. Dude. Bless. Oh, I can't.
You have to.
Not after Peter Pants.
You can listen to it after.
No, I will.
I think if you don't have anything else, I think this is a good time to wrap up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. That was fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I really appreciate it. Tooch, you're welcome back anytime that you want.
Thank you. I'm happy it went well.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over the place. But you know what? Sometimes controlled chaos is the best you can hope for.
That's, chaos control. That's my motto.
Faker? Ha! You're the fake around here. I'll make you eat those words.
Well, the interrupting. The interrupting is the best part for me.
All right, so you can find my guest today on Twitter. That's at t0uchan. That's t0uchan.
I made you say it.
CHAN. t0uchan.
It just rolls right off the tongue.
It's one of the only times that I wasn't offended at the insertion of the word uwu into a username.
I'm sly like that.
You are.
So, yeah.
Outkast would have wrote a song about you.
Yeah. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh.
I was thinking more like the like I like the way you move. It's like I like the way you
woo.
You can find her on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/t0uchan, t0uchan. You can find her on YouTube where she has 2 videos. I'm going to plug it anyway. That's t0uchan, t0uchan. And it's the little burb sitting on its tush.
The little chunk.
All right. Well, thank you so much to everyone who listens each and every week. Continue to do the things that support the show. Like, comment, subscribe, download, tell your friends, tell your mailman, tell your friends, tell Cool J, tell Coolio, tell Method Man. And we'll be back next week with another fantastic guest. Bye-bye.